Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the virtual open house for BC3 at Lawrence Crossing. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few items so you'll know how to participate in today's event. You're listening through your computer speakers by default. If you would prefer to join over the phone, access the control panel in the upper right corner of your screen and select Telephone in the audio panel. The dial-in information is displayed there. We are excited to announce that you can apply to BC3 for free today at bc3.edu/apply. Or you can apply at any time during our free application days now through March 17th. Our agenda for today's virtual open house is as follows. We will give you some information about BC3 from admissions, talk about financing your education, and get a nice overview about the BC3 at Lawrence Crossing location. We will then talk you through your next steps in the enrollment process at BC3, and we will end with a question and answer period with today's panelists. We have also provided some materials for you today for our virtual open house that are currently available under the handout portion on the control panel. A copy of today's presentation, information about Job Corps, our BC3 View Book, and of course the Lawrence Crossing Fall 2020 schedule. You also have the opportunity to submit text question to today's panelists by typing in your questions into the question pane on the attendee control panel. You may type in and send these questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and address them during the question and answer session at the end of the presentation. Before we hear from our first presenter, we would like to ask the audience a question. For the first poll, what is your educational goal? Your options are take courses or earn a degree at BC3 and immediately start a career, take courses or earn a degree at BC3 and transfer to a four-year college or university, earn BC3 credits while enrolled at another college or university, earn college credit while you're in high school, or uncertain. Please select the appropriate response and click Submit. Once everyone has had a chance to respond, we will close the poll. We are now closing the poll. Let me share the results with everyone. It looks like several of you are interested in taking courses and earning a degree at BC3 and then start your career. And then there's several of you too that would like to take courses and earn a degree at BC3 and then transfer to a four-year institution. And some of you are uncertain. It's great that you're here for our virtual open house because we'll be able to give you more information about each of those categories. I would like to now introduce our first presenter, Ms. Suzanne Wazalewski, admissions representative.
Thank you so much, Amy. And let me also welcome you today and thank you for joining us for our BC3 at Lawrence Crossing virtual open house. We're glad you chose to spend your Thursday afternoon with us. I'm excited to share some information about BC3 to start with you today. And the first thing I want to share is a statistic. You can see this, nearly 6 million Americans are enrolled at community colleges nationwide. That's more than 1/3 of the entire undergraduate population enrolled at colleges and universities today. This statistic is really a testament to the role that community colleges across the nation play in educating students today. The other thing I want to mention about this is if you notice in the bottom right-hand corner, BC3 has been named the #1 community college in Pennsylvania 5 times running, and that's something we're very proud of. Just so you're a bit familiar with the size of institution that BC3 is, the types of things we offer, we want to share some other information with you. We typically have about 3,000 credit-bearing students each year attending BC3. And not all of these students are at one location. We do have 6 different locations in total that make up BC3. Our 2 locations in Butler are our main campus. We have also BC3 at Cranberry, located in Cranberry Township. We have BC3 at Armstrong, which is located in Ford City. BC3 at Brockway, which in Jefferson County serves Clarion, Jefferson, Elk, and Clearfield counties. BC3 at Linden Point, which is located in Hermitage, Pennsylvania, serving primarily Mercer County. And then, of course, BC3 at Lawrence Crossing in Lawrence County. BC3 offers 55 unique associate degree programs as well as 21 certificate programs. All of these programs are things that we're going to talk about today, as well as which ones are offered at our BC3 at Lawrence Crossing locations. And 12 of our unique associate degree programs are program to program transfers with the Pennsylvania state system of higher education institutions. 75% of BC3 students receive some sort of financial aid assistance to help them graduate debt-free. That means that when these students leave our doors, whether they're leaving to continue on to earn their bachelor's degree or maybe even further, or whether they're going directly out into the workforce, these students are not leaving with debt to hold them back. So that is something that we're also very happy to be able to tell students at BC3. And our student to faculty ratio is 15:1. So in our classrooms, you're getting that individualized attention, getting to know your faculty members as well as your peers. And that's something that's really invaluable. So all of our programs fall under one of our 4 academic divisions, and we want to give you a bit of a breakdown about that as well. Our business division is our first division. That would contain degrees like business administration, accounting, business management, and our computer information systems programs. We have our humanities and social sciences division as well. This is the largest division at the college and would have degrees under it for everything from emergency services to secondary education to psychology to general studies. So there are a lot of offerings within this area of the college. We have our STEM division, which stands for the Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics division. It's exactly what it sounds like. It would be those degrees such as biological science, mathematics, and chemistry. And lastly, we have our Schaefer School of Nursing and Allied Health. So our healthcare programs like nursing, medical coding and billing, physical therapist assistant, all fall under this realm. One thing I will mention, as we do typically get some questions regarding nursing, our RN application will open on August 1st. So this summer, August 1st, it will open and become available for students. It will be open until October 30th, and that's for individuals wanting to start the nursing program in the fall 2021 semester for their clinical rotations. On the academic side, we do have 2 academic honor societies. For those who are interested in the business realm, Kappa Beta Delta is our honor society for business majors specifically. Then BC3 does also have Phi Theta Kappa, which is the largest international honor society at the 2-year college level. We have a very active Phi Theta Kappa program here at BC3. So if you are a student that gets an invitation to be a part of one of those honor society, I encourage you to definitely take advantage of that. We do also have a program for students who want to get a jump start on their college education. So our College Now program is a great program that allows students who are sophomores, juniors, or seniors in high school to take college classes while they're still a high school student. There are certain GPA requirements that must be met, and in order to enroll in this program, you would complete a College Now agreement and provide a high school transcript, and we would assist you through those next steps to register. Students in this program can choose to take classes at any BC3 location or even online. So this allows them flexibility if they're not able to do this during the school day or in the evenings to still take some college classes online and earn some college credits. Some of the students in this program, when they graduate from high school, they bring those credits in and attend at BC3. Others choose to go elsewhere and they can transfer those credits with them as well when they go to their school of choice. The majority of BC3 students are transfer geared, so they're looking to start their degree with us and then continue along essentially for junior and senior year at another institution. We mentioned earlier that there are those 12 program to program agreements with the state system schools. I'll go over what those programs are in just a moment. But the Pennsylvania State System of Education, Higher Education System schools, there are 14 of them. You'll be familiar with a lot of the names like Slippery Rock University, Clarion, IUP, CalU, Edinburgh, just to name a few. There are also a few opt-in institutions that students can transfer to, such as Carlow University, Geneva College, and St. Francis University. BC3 does also specifically have nursing articulation agreements with individual schools. So these are RN to BSN articulation agreements with Chatham University, Carlow University, Lock Haven University, Slippery Rock University, and Waynesburg University. That being said, this does not mean you are limited to only transferring to schools within Pennsylvania or only to schools that we have these formal agreements with. We have students who transfer across the nation all the time, in-state, out of state, and elsewhere. So our credits are recognized by public, private, state-related, and online colleges and universities if you're not hearing the name of the institution that you hope to transfer to down the road. We do hope to make that transfer process as seamless as possible for our students when the time comes. So we do have transfer counselor visits on campus very readily throughout the semester. And we do have transfer visit days as well. Each semester too, we do have a big transfer fair where a lot of those schools are on our campus for students to visit with. So we did say that those 12 program to program majors are allow students to really do their freshman and sophomore year at BC3 and then walk into any of the state system schools as a junior. These are those 12 programs listed for you. They're biological science, business administration, chemistry, communications and computer science, criminology, early childhood education, pre-K through 4, English, history, mathematics, psychology, and social work. So if you have an interest in any of these 12 programs, what this means is you can do your freshman and sophomore year at BC3, graduate with your associate degree, and walk on to a four-year school, state system school, with junior standing. Something else that's very important in the college experience is what support services are available to students on campus. So at BC3, if you're a student here, you'll get personalized academic advising where you have the opportunity to sit and speak with your advisor one-on-one, look at the courses you need to complete your degree, and discuss what works best for you. That relationship is very important to a student's success. We also offer free tutoring. For each course you enroll in, you could sit with a tutor for an hour per week. Now, this is not something that's mandatory. This is something that you choose to take part in. We encourage students to be very proactive with tutoring. So if you are enrolling in an English and a math course, and you're like me, where math is not your strong subject, you may proactively sign up to meet with a math tutor each week for an hour throughout the semester so that you ensure you stay on pace to be successful in that course. We do have a career services staff. They can help you with things like resume writing, mock interviewing, all of the things that are important to be successful when it comes time for the job search. And we do have transfer services. We mentioned some of those things like visiting with transfer counselors from other institutions. Another big part of the support services available at BC3 is our access and disability support services. So if you're a student with documented disability, an IEP, anything like that, we can connect you with the resources available at any of our locations to make sure that you have the accommodations in place that you need to be successful. Whether that's having your tests read to you, larger print on an exam, whatever it may be, we have those resources available to you. And lastly, we do have listed there our KEYS program. KEYS stands for the Keystone Education Yield Success Program, and this is specifically for students who receive TANF cash assistance or SNAP benefits. In addition to those support services, another important part of the student experience at BC3 may be athletics for you as a student. We do have 6 intercollegiate athletic teams at BC3. We have men's and women's basketball, we have men's baseball, women's softball, women's volleyball, and then a men and women's golf team. So if you're a student athlete currently and you want to continue on to play at the collegiate level, that's something that you do have the option to do at BC3. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can talk with any of us here in the admissions office. Listed here is Morgan Rosardi, our Associate Director of Admissions, both Jerry Johnson and myself, admissions representatives at BC3, as well as Erin Chaffee. And Erin is the individual that coordinates that College Now program that allows high school students to get a jump start on college credits. So our contact information is there, as well as our links to schedule an appointment with us. We can do virtual appointments now as well. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, we'd be delighted to help you. I did also include here our admissions email address and phone number. You can certainly reach out to us there too with any individual questions that may come up during this time frame that you'd like us to answer. We're happy to assist.
Susie, thanks so much. I appreciate all the information you provided us with some great educational transfer partnerships that are available to our students. Remember, if you have any questions throughout this presentation, you may type those questions into the question pane on the attendee control panel. Before I introduce our next presenter, we have another question for the audience. Poll number 2, have you completed the FAFSA? And the options are yes, no, or what is the FAFSA? Please select the appropriate response and click submit. Once everyone has had a chance to respond, we will close the poll. We are now closing the poll, and let me share the results with everyone. Well, it looks like several of you have not yet fulfilled or submitted your FAFSA. That's okay, there's still time. And about 40% of you have submitted your FAFSA. Nice job, everyone. And then there's a few that are not sure what the FAFSA is. Well, we're going to answer those questions. I would like to now introduce our next presenter, Mrs. Julie Ludet, our Director of Financial Aid.
Hello, and welcome to the financial aid portion of the virtual open house. I always like to start out talking about what is financial aid. So you can see from my slide there are a lot of resources that we're going to go over and options for you. So we do participate in the federal and state grant programs, and that's where the FAFSA that we're going to talk about more comes into play. You do have to complete that, and it is usually the grant information based on income information that you provide on that FAFSA. We welcome outside scholarships, so hopefully you're working with your high schools, organizations, doing those web searches. And then we also like to acknowledge our program through the BC3 Foundation here at BC3. We have a large scholarship program for students to apply, and that is going on currently. So make sure you're getting out there on our website and doing the application process. We award over $200,000 to our students annually, so it is an annual process to do once a year. We also participate in student loan programs. I know we are proud to say that a lot of our students are able to graduate debt-free, but we do have many students that also participate in the student loan program. It is a nice program for students that as long as they are at least part-time, 6 credits, they're able to participate in that program. And of course, they have to complete the FAFSA as well. And the other nice thing about the student loan program is it does not have to start repayment until after you graduate or stop attending school. That not only would be at BC3, but if you transferred on to a 4-year school, those loans would stay in deferment, and then you'd have several repayment options when you are ready to pay them back. So it's helpful with your educational expenses and not a burden while you're in school. We also participate in employment opportunities for our students. So we have a federal work study program where students can work on campus with the different areas. And then we also work with our Career Center closely to help students with outside jobs as well as the jobs on campus, so jobs within the community. We participate with veterans benefits. We are a vet-friendly school, and we have a large veteran population that we serve. So not only veterans themselves, but sometimes dependents of veterans, spouses, qualify for those benefits also. And those will work with, you work with our office to apply for those. Third-party agencies. So those are any outside agencies that may be helping fund your educational expenses. So they like you to complete the FAFSA as well and work closely with us. We note on their Pittsburgh Job Corps, that's a program that if students qualify for and meet their criteria, they will not only help with tuition, but again, the other expenses you have while going through school, such as books, transportation costs. There is a handout included that gives you more information on the Job Corps program and the eligibility criteria. We have our link at the bottom. So if you go to our website on that link, that will give you a lot more detail than I just did on the many programs that we participate in. So how do I apply? So I saw on the poll question, some of you did, which is great, so you're familiar with it, and we'll talk about how that is an annual process to do every year. And some of you didn't, and that's okay, because as Amy mentioned, it's not too late. I will share the Pennsylvania State Grant that we participate in does have a May 15th deadline date. I realize that's tomorrow, but again, like we said, you're not too late. And the FAFSA really takes about 40 minutes of your time. So if you want to make that deadline date and get started on it this evening, and then we are in the office we'll talk about how to communicate with us. I'm sorry, we're not in the office, but we are still here for you, and how we can communicate and help you remotely to get that completed on time. So again, it takes probably about 40 minutes of your time to set aside, and you'll see when you get on the website that we'll talk about, they're going to show you either 1920 FAFSA or 2021. So if you're starting in the fall 2020, you're going to want to complete the 2021 FAFSA. It's the one that has the state grant May 15th deadline as well. And you'll need 2018 tax information to help you complete that, to have that in front of you. It talks on the slide here that you need to register for an FSA ID, username and password. Since everything is online, that is how you sign the FAFSA. So you'll need to register for that as your first step. And if you're having parents' information provided on there as well, because it's required, at least one parent will need to have a username and password also. You want to hold on to that, even though you're using it currently. That is what you'll continue to use throughout your college experience in completing federal forms. So make sure you remember it, write it down, and put it in a safe spot. So then once you have that username and password, your next step is to go to the FAFSA. We have the website there, studentaid.gov. And again, if you go to our website, the link's there for you to click on as well. Then once you do, I also note don't use FAFSA.com. So again, it's very helpful to go straight to the link on the website sometimes. There are other websites out there that pretty much do the same thing in helping you complete, but they'll charge you for it. FAFSA stands for Free Application, Federal Student Aid. So you want to make sure you're not paying anybody to do it. It is a free service. And again, that's what my office is there to help you, assist you in getting that done. You do have to do it annually. So I always note that, and not to make things too confusing, but for those of you that have just applied and you're going to be walking on campus in August, well, hopefully walking on campus, sorry. You'll be involved with the campus community somehow, right? We're going to start letting you know that it's time to file the FAFSA again. It comes out as early as October, and it is an annual process that you do every year. So understand that, keep that in mind. The nice thing is they do have a renewal process, renewal application. So as I noted, usually your initial time, it takes about 40 minutes, but after you've completed it and you go to do it the next year, you're really just updating information that changes. And you'll see the obvious reasons why you do have to do it every year, because it then asks for different income information and other things that could change from year to year, like household size, how many students are going to college in the household as well. And then we have our BC3 code on there. Very important that you use the correct college code so the college can receive your information and start to review it and process it. So our code is there, it is on the website, and you can also locate the college of your choice by putting the name in when you do the FAFSA form as well. So your next steps. So once you apply to the college through our free application days and you complete the FAFSA, so those of you that have already completed the FAFSA and hopefully our college code's on there, it's sitting out there waiting for me to bring it into our system. So again, once you apply, I'll be able to do that. And then I'll start processing your financial aid and letting you know of any communication means of more paperwork we may need or award offers. We use your BC3 email. So when you get your acceptance letter from BC3, you're going to get that email. Very important that you activate it and are looking at it. Because again, that is not only my department, but all your offices, usually at the college campus, will communicate through that BC3 email. So watch for documentation back from us. We usually tell students once we receive your FAFSA, and I bring records in weekly, it's about a 2 to 3 week turnaround that we're communicating to you. So very important that if you're not getting communication from our financial aid email that's indicated there, please email us. If you call us, it'll direct you to our email currently. So again, we'll be in touch with you to see why are we not getting your FAFSA. Sometimes it goes back to that college code or something's incomplete. So again, you don't want too much time to go by. We want to help you so we can get that done in a timely process and communicate back to you awards. Or as I said, sometimes we have to verify information that you provided on the FAFSA, so we may need additional documentation that we'll ask you for. My last bullet there, we can help you through the process. I know sometimes people feel financial aid is intimidating, but it's not. I do have an office staff of 7 people. And actually at the Lawrence Crossing site, we have 2 financial aid staff people that will rotate and be out on that campus to assist you as well once we reopen and you can go to the campuses for help. But again, right now we're doing that remotely. There is the website. We're also doing FAFSA workshops through GoToMeetings one-on-one, if that would be more helpful to help you get that FAFSA done. So just keep that in mind to stay in touch with us to make sure your financial aid is in place. That's very important through the process when we get to when bills are due and payment, that if you're utilizing financial aid to help pay those educational expenses, you want to make sure you're communicating with us and that everything's done timely so it's in place for you. So again, how to connect with us. There is our email. So again, through the email, please let us know any questions you have. And if you would like us to give you a phone call, if that's easier for a one-on-one phone call, we will do that. Just send us your number and then we'll get in touch with you that way as well. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks for explaining the various types of financial aid that's available to our BC3 students. That was very helpful. If you have any additional questions for Julie, don't forget to type them into the question pane on the attendee control panel. Before I introduce our next presenter, we have one last question for our audience. What subject area are you interested in studying? The options are business, education, general studies, public safety and security, and social services. We are now closing the poll. All right, it looks like several of you are interested in business, education, general studies, and social services. I would now like to introduce our next presenter, Mr. Sean Carroll. He is the director of our Lawrence Crossing site. Take it away, Sean.
All right, thank you, Amy. Just want to reiterate what Susie said off the top. Just very, so glad you could join us today. I want to introduce the staff here at Lawrence Crossing, starting with myself, the director. Been with BC3 over 20 years. Very fortunate to be able to say that. And I'm entering my 5th year as the director here at Lawrence Crossing. I am joined by some great people, great professionals. Start with Secretary Joyce Schaefer and Susan Davis, who's our student services specialist. They've both been with the college since before Lawrence Crossing opened in 2008. Rounding out the staff is Terry Duddy, who is the students Lawrence Crossing specialist. Terry's the one who does a lot of the planning the events. She's also an awesome counselor for students. And Mary Barrier, who's our part-time secretary. Mary is often the first friendly face you see if you come to our building in the afternoons. When you first walk in, she's right there to assist in any way she can. Contact information. Oh, I'm sorry. If we could just go back to that previous slide. Sorry about that. You see our contact information there. We would love to, assist you in any way we can. Obviously, after today, to meet with you, whether it be virtually, which we're doing for now, or then hopefully in person as we move forward throughout the summer. Any of our emails, you can contact us. It's on our website. You can see the number there as well, the 658-1938. Whoever you contact, we'll make sure that you get in touch with the right person so that we can speak with you, whether it's trying to sign up for the summer session that I'll mention here in a bit, or starting our fall semester that starts on August 24th. Programs offered. 2 types of programs. Some of this is, again, what Susie had mentioned earlier, but just want to differentiate between career and transfer. On average, at Lawrence Crossing and college-wide, about 70% of our students are looking to take classes to transfer on. I know the poll, we were like 50-50 for those who responded earlier to that poll question, which is great. Our transfer students are looking to start with us, whether it's a semester, a year, we hope 2 years, get their associate's degree, transfer on to a 4-year school. Susie did a wonderful job of talking about many of the articulations, schools that are out there for our students to attend. The other 30%, we have there's a lot of great career programs. Many fields do not need, bachelor's degrees to be successful, and I'll touch on those here in a second. I'm always proud to mention, as a parent, my 2 children both started at BC3 and then transferred on to 2 different schools. My daughter came, she was a business administration major, transferred to Robert Morris, where she got her degree in accounting. And my son, who will be graduating from Penn State University, started at BC3 as a communications major. And like I said, he'll be graduating in communications this summer. I say that not because, I'm a proud parent, but just the quality education that BC3 has. As a parent, if I didn't feel that way, I could not start my children, looking as they were preparing for their life's work. I knew that BC3's education is top notch, and you often hear about, BC3, it's low cost, it's close to home, and those are absolutely true. But what I think sometimes it doesn't get lost, but I always like to lead with is the quality of the education, because if we didn't have the quality education, the low cost that close to home wouldn't matter. So very proud that of the education that we are offering. You can see the different types of programs, business administration, criminology, and then business administration. If you're looking to do accounting, if you want to do finance, business administration is sort of a catch-all program that once a student does transfer onto that four-year school, they can decide what path within business they want to pursue. Again, criminology, early childhood. Many of our students in early childhood will transfer on to one of the PASSHE schools. The PASSHE schools are known for their education. Slippery Rock being the closest of the PASSHE schools probably sees the highest number of our students that transfer. But I will say Westminster College, which is our neighbor in northern Lawrence County, does have an articulation with us. They come and speak to our students, and we've had many of our elementary ed transfer on to Westminster and do very well. General studies, pre-nursing, again, BC3 has an awesome nursing program that takes, the clinicals and the actual nursing classes take place at our Butler campus. But we see a lot of students who come to us, for general studies, if they're, not everyone knows exactly what they want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as far as other nursing programs, they'll come to us, looking to do nursing programs in Ohio, nursing programs that are close to our campus here. We have for every class other than the actual clinical classes. So the A&Ps, the English, the psychologies, et cetera, can be done here at our Lawrence Crossing campus. History, phys ed, sport management, psychology, secondary ed, as well as social work. We're very fortunate too, I know with our social work classes, a lot of people who work for different social service agencies that work in the field come back and teach for us and really give our students a great perspective. You can see some of the career programs: accounting, business management, emergency services, HR management, medical assisting, and I always try to plug our medical assisting program. It's a great program. We offer both a certificate, which is a program that can be done within one calendar year, as well as the associate program. We have a tremendous lab here that we look forward again to that day when our doors open up and are able to bring people in to see our facility, and especially our medical assisting lab. We're very proud of that. Medical coding, office administration, executive, legal, and then the tech trades, cosmetology. If someone has their state license in cosmetology, they can get 15 credits toward an associate degree. Student life, student activities, we always encourage students, that we hope that when they come to, whether it's BC3 or any college, to get involved. College is so much more than just the academics and taking classes. So we feel we offer a pretty wide variety of different opportunities for students. Again, Terry does a great job, setting up those events. You can just see a listing here, some of the different activities, our Oktoberfest. Our celebration is always a highlight of the year when our president, Dr. Nick Newpower, comes and sort of gives a state of the college and does a very interactive question and answer with our students. Our Project Pink fundraiser in conjunction with the volleyball team with breast cancer awareness in the month of October, the health and wellness fair, other events, the ice cream social. We did Steelers tailgate last year for the Monday night Miami game, as well as different, giving back events. We do a food drive, around Thanksgiving time, a clothing drive for the less fortunate. Always we do a mitten tree right around the holidays. So, always trying to give back whatever we can to the community that's been so good to us. Student clubs, again, really, things that you can do to try to get involved that looks good on a resume. Again, Terry has set up and has really worked hard with the student leaders, with the clubs and organizations. If you're in a business program, in an allied health program, humanities and social sciences, different aspects of, things that she's working out, just so you can put on a resume and meet other students that you might not normally meet just going into class, and being just a student. There's so much more, again, than just the academics. I put film club down, and that's an example of, we don't have an active film club right now, but that's an example of clubs are determined by the students. If you like to watch movies and would like to discuss movies, start a film club. If you want to go, you like to ski, start a ski club. Our paranormal club is an example of people that liked, watch Ghost Adventures, and we have the Hillview Manor close by here in Newcastle. Whatever you're interested in, it doesn't take many students to start a club, so we definitely give you the opportunity and to again meet like-minded people. It's always neat to talk about things that you enjoy. And lastly, what's new here at Lawrence Crossing? Our dedicated tutoring space and quiet study room. One of the things I would hear over the past few years is that Lawrence Crossing, we don't have a library, and that's obvious. We are one building. We have many classrooms, different labs, computer labs, but we didn't really have a dedicated quiet space where people could go. People would just sort of find whatever space they could, go into an empty classroom. Tutors were always trying to find an open room, but now we were able to convert a classroom into this quiet study space tutoring area. You can see by the pictures, and again, it's always better to, we look forward to having you here and seeing the building, but there's individual space, there's small groups, there's big groups, there's couches. It's a great space for students. The feedback's been tremendous. We're very excited. When we started this back in January, and unfortunately, we're only here for about 6 to 8 weeks, but once we come back, to see that area continue to grow, we're very excited about that. And lastly, just taking classes. Our summer session started this past Monday, the 11th. We have another summer session starting on June 15th, so there's still time for that if you're interested. And then again, also our fall semester starting August 24th. So we could talk to you about the different types of classes, days of the week, the times. I'm not going to go through all the different options that you have, but again, hopefully soon, whether we want to meet virtually, meet in person again down the road, we look forward to doing that, just to explain everything that BC3 has to offer for you. Again, there's our phone number, the 658-1938, and again, all that's on our website as well, all of our emails. So please do not hesitate to contact us and take advantage of the great opportunity that BC3 is.
Thank you so much, Sean. So nice to see all the student involvement and activities that are available at the Lawrence Crossing site. Also love the new quiet study space you guys have provided. At this time, we're going to hand it back over to Ms. Suzanne Wazalewski, and she's going to review the next steps to enrollment at BC3.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. As Amy mentioned, I do want to go through with you what your next steps would be to become an enrolled student at BC3. One of the first things we want to highlight is that BC3 adheres to an open admissions policy. And what this means is, as long as you have your high school diploma or your equivalency, you can get your education started at BC3. We do not require a student to have taken the SAT or ACT. However, if you have or do plan to take those tests and you've taken them in the last 5 calendar years, we can take a look at your scores on those exams and see if that may exempt you from some placement testing and place you into a college level English and math course. Right now, I know we said this at the start of our time together today, now through May 18th, our application is available for free. So this is a really good time to submit your BC3 application if you'd like to get started with us this summer, this fall, or even into next spring if you're considering a January start timeline. The website to go to apply for that is listed right there for you. And again, the application is open and free through May 17th. After applying, you'll want to have your official high school transcript or GED high set score sent in to BC3. That would be really your very next step, in addition to completing the FAFSA if you've not done so already. If you've attended college elsewhere at another college or university, you will also want to have those official transcripts sent into our records and registration office. They can take a look at them and let you know what credits may transfer in towards your program of study here at BC3. A maximum of 45 credit hours can be transferred in toward an associate degree program. I did mention this a little bit out of step here, but you can fill out that FAFSA that Julie spoke with you about today as well. If needed, we could get you through your required placement testing. A student, if they've not taken an SAT or ACT, we can, or any previous college credits, we would get them placement tested in reading, sentence skills, and math. This is not really a pass-fail test. What this tells us is what level course to start a student in so that they're in the appropriate level for their current skill set. So it's really a snapshot of right now where we should start out for your particular program of study. After your placement test, you'll meet with an advisor one-on-one. Right now, this is taking place virtually. So even if you plan to start on June 15th, you'll still be able to meet with an advisor, make sure you get your course schedule all set and ready to go for the summer semester. If you're aiming more for the fall semester, our first start date is August 24th, and we do also have another later start date of September 21st. In addition to those two big start dates, we do also have 3 fully online fast track sessions. These fast track are 5-week condensed courses, again, fully online, so they move very quickly. But what's nice about these fast track sessions is that they allow a student to enroll later on in the semester, so they give multiple opportunities to start. But also you can focus on one course alone for 5 weeks, and then when that one completes, you can start another course the very next Monday. So that's a good way to get through some of your degree requirements while focusing on one at a time. And thank you very much. I hope that information helps you to gather a little bit of information about your next steps.
Thanks so much, Susie. We're now going to begin answering some questions that have been submitted to today's presentation. As a reminder, you can still submit additional questions through the question pane in the attendee control panel. All right. Our first question, Wendy is asking, Sean, the programs that you showed on your slide, are those programs only offered at the Lawrence Crossing site?
Well, those are the programs that a student can complete entirely at Lawrence Crossing through a combination of either classes physically here or online. Those programs are also offered at the main campus and some of our other campuses, but the ones I highlighted were ones that a student would not have to leave Lawrence County in order to obtain a degree in those specific programs.
Great. Sean, there's another question from Jarek. He's interested in computer science. Can he get some basic computer skills at Lawrence Crossing?
Yeah, absolutely. We offer 2 computer classes, the Comp 121 as well as Comp 210. You know, the Englishes, the maths, depending on which program that he would decide to pursue. So yeah, absolutely, a student could take classes here, but a majority of the actual computer classes, any of the classes that we offer at school that begin with that COMP prefix would probably have to be done either at the main campus or online.
Great, Sean, thank you. Wendy also has a computer-related question and is wondering if Lawrence Crossing has any courses surrounding web design.
Not specifically. I know in our Comp 210, there might be a slight, like a portion of the class, but if you're interested in web design, we do have a program, a career program in web design. So a student would, and those majority of those classes again would be at the main campus or online.
That's what Wendy was wondering, is if some of them would be available online for that program.
Yeah, I don't know offhand the program, which ones would be, but I think web design, some of them specifically would be only on campus, but I'm not definitively sure on that.
All right, for Wendy, we'll be able to follow up and get some more clarifying questions for that, or
Absolutely.
answers for that. Both Nicole and Haley have asked the question, can some of the classes be taken at Lawrence Crossing to help them prepare for nursing school?
Yes, and I did mention, we do have students, we've had students from Lawrence Crossing that came here that did many of the prereqs and then were accepted into the Butler at BC3, the nursing program there. But again, we have many, I would say more students that are probably pursuing nursing programs elsewhere, whether it's hospital-based, whether it's in other counties, other schools, but absolutely our program, the anatomy and physiology classes, the psychologies, the Englishes, the maths, by all means would be able to take those here at Lawrence Crossing and then transfer those to whatever school that you are pursuing.
Great, thanks, Sean. Paul is asking, how long will it take, or would it take to hear back from financial aid to find out what his financial aid award would be?
So Paul, once you file the FAFSA and apply to the college, I would give us about 2 to 3 weeks. And as I shared earlier, if you have not heard back from us, send us an email and say, I've submitted my FAFSA, why am I not hearing back, with some details.
Great, thanks, Julie. We have a student, Michaela, is asking for a bachelor's in accounting as a goal. Should Michaela take business administration track or the accounting track?
I'll answer this one because someone very near and dear to me did the exact same thing. My daughter graduated from high school, came to BC3, followed the business administration track, transferred to Robert Morris, and everything seamlessly went right into their accounting program. The accounting, the career program that we have is an excellent program, but it's really geared to a student, that once they receive their 2-year associate, that they're going to go into the workforce. If you're looking to get a bachelor's degree in accounting, then the business administration track is the correct path for you.
Thanks for the answer, Sean. Haley is asking, can you complete early childhood education at BC3, or do you have to transfer?
We do have the early childhood education. It's the associate's degree, and it is geared for someone to transfer on to get a bachelor's degree. In order to teach in the state of Pennsylvania, you do need to get a bachelor's degree along with many other requirements. So, you could just take the associates, but again, its purpose is to set you up to go on and take the 3rd and 4th year in order to, if your goal is to become a teacher, then that would be the path that you should take.
And if I might just add on to what Sean said for Haley as well, we do have another program that is more of a career program that kind of has elements of this in it. It's our Child Development and Family Studies program. Again, that's meant to be 2 years, get a student right out to the workforce, working more in like a teaching aid capacity, family studies capacity, if you were not hoping to pursue the bachelor's degree to become a pre-K through 4 teacher.
Thanks, Susie. This student has asked the question, what's the best way to contact the financial aid office? Should they reach out to the Lawrence Crossing Center or directly to the main campus financial aid if they have specific questions related to their FAFSA?
I would go specifically to the financial aid office. So it's the financial aid at bc3.edu. And then if they want to do like a one-on-one go-to-meeting, or as we keep sharing, if we are back on campus in the near future, we know what days there is financial aid staff at the Lawrence Crossing that we can direct you to go in and meet with them, or again, through the phone or email system, whatever works best. But we always encourage students to start with the financial aid department. The off-campus sites are helpful and they have staff there, but we're mainly at the main campus to answer those questions and be able to look up files and whatnot.
If I could just add to what Julie said, we're very fortunate that we have someone dedicated for financial aid, Steve Lockovich. And I should say, this is more during our fall and spring semester. Steve typically is on our campus every Monday, and then he alternates every other Tuesday. And then we also have Suzanne Simon, who typically works at the main campus, will come every other Thursday. So each week, on a normal week, we'll have financial aid there 2 days, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, or Monday, Thursday. So we're very fortunate to have those individuals here. They're very knowledgeable, much more so than a generalist like I am. I can just scratch the surface. They know their stuff, and we're, again, very fortunate to have them on our campus twice a week.
Great. We have 2 students, both Brody and Derek, have asked the question, could you give me the cost per credit for a non-Butler County PA resident?
Sure, I can provide that for you both. For the summer 2020 semester, the cost per credit for an out-of-county resident would be $270 per credit hour. Most of the courses you would be looking to take at BC3 would be 3 credits. If you're thinking anything like an English, math, psychology, any of those elective courses. Lab science courses are typically 4 credits because they do have that lab built into the course. So just keep that in mind if you're calculating what a course may cost. On the other side of things, if you're taking like a physical wellness or a yoga course, those may be a little bit less. They may be 1 or 2 credits, but the vast majority of courses you'd be looking to take are 3 credit hours each.
Great. We have a follow-up question concerning computer science or computer-related programs. Whom would they reach out to contact for completion of a web design or computer science? Would there be a particular person on the main campus or online that they would contact?
So if you have questions specifically regarding the degrees, what might be the closest to what you're looking to, type of degree you're looking to obtain, you can reach out to us in admissions. Our email address is admissions with an S on the end at bc3.edu. And then one of us advisors will be forwarded that message and we'll make sure to get back with you and answer any detailed questions you have about that. If there's something more detailed beyond what we can give you, we would certainly get you in touch with the dean of that division or with one of the faculty members within the program. But I think that would be a good place for you to start.
Great, Susie, thanks. Haley is asking a question. If a student's has already applied and been accepted, what are the ways to contact an advisor to make a schedule?
Well, I'll start. Depending if a student needs placement testing or not, we are going through that process right now. We are doing remote placement testing for students that don't have or meet the requirements in order to be exempted out of it. We are encouraging everyone, if you have prior college, by all means, please send us any college transcripts, or if all you have is a high school transcript, please send us your high school transcripts, because we are exempting some students if they meet certain criteria, so they would be exempted from the doing the online placement test. If you do not need placement testing, you will be receiving information for our online orientation. Our Josh Novak, who's our Dean of Student Development, did a tremendous job with many others at the college, developing an online orientation platform for our students that have tested but have not yet, that typically would go through, a session here at the college. We call it Welcome Day. We'd come together and learn all about the college, but they've done a tremendous job in putting that together. So you will receive that information. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. And then once you've completed that, then we will set up, you will hear from us. We will contact you in order to set up, whether it's a remote individual one-on-one, or again, depending, and again, everything is, there's nothing, we hope to be back on campus in some capacity. There's no guarantees when and how that's going to look. But as the summer progresses, we do hold out hope that you will be able to come on campus and meet individually or in a small group session to help schedule your fall classes.
Great, thanks, Sean. We have another follow-up question. Some of the folks are not graduating until June. Should they send their transcripts now for review for placement testing, or should they wait until after June for the high school transcripts to be sent?
That's a good question. I can field that one, Sean. You can have them sent, especially if your high school puts midterm grades on there. I know sometimes at the end of semester 1, your high school may put how you pass your grade at that point during your senior year courses. You would certainly want to have those sent. I would send them as soon as possible so that we can get you placed. And then at the conclusion of senior year, you will want to send a final official high school transcript. That's not just needed for the placement side of things, but also for other things like financial aid, like scholarships, for all of those other pieces as well. So for placement reasons, I'd have that sent as soon as possible, and then also follow up with that final one once you have it done.
Great, Susie. Another follow-up for you. Should they apply now, or should they wait until after they graduate?
I would say apply now, because the application is free through May 17th. You will want to select a major on there that is appropriate to what you want to study. And there is typically a question on the application about whether or not you'll be graduating from high school. You'll want to select yes there. If you are, let's say, a junior just now about to enter your senior year, then we would gear you more towards our College Now program that we discussed. But if you are graduating in June and looking to attend BC3 starting this fall, now would be a good time to apply.
Great. We have one final question, and if the panelists are okay, I'll field this question. The question is, will BC3 fall classes be held on all campuses? And for those of you that have asked that question, I want to tell you that the college is carefully considering various delivery options for instruction for the fall 2020 semester. The safety of our college community is the top priority. We continue to assess new information as the situation unfolds, and we will make a final decision in the coming months and be sure to communicate all of that to our current, continuing, and new students for fall 2020. Thank you all. Thank you to all of our presenters today, and thank you everyone for attending our virtual open house for BC3 at Lawrence Crossing. If you had a question and we did not answer it, we will be following up in the next day or two with those answers. Once you leave today's webinar, you will receive a follow-up email with a link to view a recording of today's webinar, as well as a link to our online application. And just remember, you can apply to BC3 today, free, and now through May 17th. On behalf of Butler County Community College, our panelists, thank you for joining us today, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.